The NBA season is right around the corner. I can smell it already. How excited are you for the upcoming NBA season? Go ahead and drop in the comments on a scale of 1 to 10 how excited you are to talk about ball. What's up, Celtics fans? I'm your host of Celtics Today, Allie Barefoot, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about Payton Pritchard. Reportedly is ready to play for none other than the Boston Celtics this year. Despite all the drama that happened last year, he's ready to get to work and help make this a championship contending team. But on the other hand, ESPN's Marc J. Spears has mentioned that there is an Eastern Conference team that has entered the trade talk chat about Damian Lillard. He didn't specify which team, but we're going to break down what happens if that is the Boston Celtics a little bit later on the show. Payton Pritchard, he wants that smoke. He told Adam Himmelsbach of the Boston Globe that he's ready to get to work. He wants to let go of what happened last year, and he wants to put on that green jersey and help this team become a championship team. He wants a bigger role, and now he might possibly have that with Marcus Smart gone. But just to refresh your memory, we're going to go back to 2022. He admitted he was hoping to be traded at the deadline, which is just bananas. He's also been talking with Joe Mazzulla since Marcus Smart was traded. They've been discussing what his possibility of his position will be on the team this year because he sat on the bench for more than half of the 2022-23 season. He averaged about 13 minutes per game, so I know that he was not happy with the production that he was having. So honestly, I think when you're not a star caliber player just yet, then you've got to appreciate where you are, and that's on the Boston Celtics, which he did say to Adam Himmelsbach of the Boston Globe. For me, I've just got to do my part. If I've got the opportunity to play, I've got to show what I'm capable of and that I can help win at the highest level. So I'm just looking forward to the opportunity of showcasing that, preferably this next upcoming season. At the end of the day, I'm a winner. And obviously, I'm going to help the Jays, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, because those are the two that are pushing us. We've all have to help get them over that hump and ultimately win a championship. From this quote alone, it sounds like Payton Pritchard finally put on his big boy pants and realized, no, dude, you're not going to be the star of this team, especially not with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, but you could be a real solid player on the bench and coming out to help when you can. So he said that when they got rid of Marcus Smart, that the front office obviously has confidence in him, and I agree. They could have gotten rid of you last season. I don't know really what they would have gotten for you because you're only worth like $4 million, but they obviously see some kind of potential in you if they're going to keep you on this roster and have you elevate to possibly a backup point guard position. But what do you guys want to see? Do you want to see Payton Pritchard playing this year in Boston? I know there was a little bit of drama going on last year. Can you move on from it? And do you want to see him in the green jersey? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm going to go yes. I think I would like to see what he could possibly do once he sets his ego aside just a little bit. I think he could really help out Brogdon and Derek White being his backup. But I want to hear from you guys. Now, we pulled up his 2021-22 playoff stats because last year he really only averaged like 5 minutes per game. But 1 year ago, when he was playing in the playoffs, he averaged about 12 minutes per game. It's a little bit more than last year. His three-point percentage was great, 33%, but he's only averaging less than 5 points per game. So no, he has no stats that pop off on the paper. But like I said, that's not his role is to pop off. His role is to be a backup to these two players who averaged 12 points in the regular season was Derek White. 14 points was Malcolm Brogdon in the regular season. So as you can see, he's obviously not as good as these two players. He doesn't need to be. He just needs to let them rest just slightly a little bit. And that's what he said. He said, obviously, I had the ability to shoot and space the floor, but also this year being able to take pressure off. And if I have to handle and bring it up and showcase more the passing side of things, I can do that. I've talked a lot to Joe, and it's going to be a lot of different things. So he's starting to realize that he's not going to have the same role every single game. It's really just going to depend on what the Celtics need. If somebody's hurt, who they're playing that night, especially if they can give some of those guys rest, then he's on top of it. Truly, I don't blame him for wanting a trade. If you're a gym rat, like you say you're a gym rat, then you wanted to go to another organization and be on their starting roster. And that's fine. No one's knocking you for wanting that. But I think you're also being a little bit selfish in the fact that you're playing for the frickin' Boston Celtics. You're not going to be the star on this team, but you can definitely help them get that 18th banner. And you know what? You can sign your name on the participation sheet and get a ring at the end of the year. So you need to know your role. If you're going to stay in Boston, then you need to accept that you're not going to be the star here. And he said this is probably the best pace to play. I don't blame him. Boston's a great environment. But at the end of the day, in any line of work, you want to see where you match up and play and compete. That's where my head was at last year. I still feel the same way about that. I want to go out there and play every game and compete because I feel like I'm good enough to belong out there. Then you need to show it. We need to see that you're being for real and that this is not just some scheme to get the press off your back in the offseason. We really actually have to see you working this year in the regular season, getting those assists up and those points to truly help lead that offense when you are on the team, and just know that you're not going to be a starter. But are you for real? We're going to find out. I can't wait to find out, honestly. So who's backup point guard? Do you want to see Malcolm Brogdon in? Type 13. Do you want to see what Payton Pritchard's made of? Type 11. Honestly, I got to go with Malcolm Brogdon here. I have more faith in him, but he's not happy with Boston right now. Payton's at least admitting, look, I've messed up last season. I'm ready to reestablish my role on this team. So as long as Payton's out of the drama, then I guess maybe I'll ride with Payton. I don't know. There's so much drama surrounding this team right now that I got to figure out what's going on with the guards. But on the other hand, Lillard's mystery team. Like we said, ESPN's Marc J. Spears reported that there is a mystery team that wants to be included in Dame Lillard trade talks. Now, while I don't think the Celtics are the perfect team for this trade talks, they are in the Eastern Conference, but also so are the 76ers and the Knicks. You've got the Bucks, the Raptors, and of course the Celtics. I think out of these 5 teams, I'm going to go with the Toronto Raptors to be the number 1 potential mystery team. I think they're the ones that have been constantly in the rumor mill in the mix of all this. But like I said, I think the Boston Celtics just have too many players to potentially give up to be considered in Damian Lillard's trade, whereas you could probably give up somebody like a Duncan Robinson on the Heat if you needed to make a 3-team trade or a 2-team trade. But Dame has said he wants it to be the Miami Heat, so I really don't think it could be the Celtics, but crazier things have happened. So we got to look at what the Celtics actually do have to offer if it's going to be them. When you look at the trade assets of the team, obviously Malcolm Brogdon can offer you the most. He's worth $22.5 million. You got Derek White also in that mix, almost at $20 million. You got Al Horford all the way down there at 10 and Jordan Walsh at 1. I think you're a great basketball player, but I don't think we're getting anything for you, Jordan Walsh. But if you're going to combine somebody, I would definitely do Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams maybe. They can definitely add a lot to whatever team they're going to be traded in. But the Celtics also have a lot of trade picks also in their back pocket if they want to include this and potentially not give up as many players that are currently on the roster. As you can see there, they've got 4 first-round picks over the next 4 years. So they definitely have something to offer a team, but that's what I'm worried about. I think they have too much to offer. Brad Stevens is constantly requiring these second-round picks to potentially dish them out when he needs to make a trade, so he doesn't need to give up as many players that he currently has. But like I said, I don't see Boston Celtics breaking up any of the connection they have with any players right now for somebody like Damian Lillard. And that's saying a lot because Damian Lillard has done fantastic over the last 4 seasons. You can see right there, he's constantly increasing his game. He's got about 32 points, averaging 32 points per game last season, and he's just constantly putting up threes. This is what I love about him. I think he's a great asset to whatever team he's going to be a part of. In the career playoff stats, he's obviously producing some numbers as well, 25 points per game. This is what the Celtics definitely could need in the playoff run, is that one player that's going to step up and constantly be a star along with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But his three-point percentage is the one that stands out to me. This guy dishes 3. We saw it time after time again in the playoffs, but this is the only idea that's actually going to work. If the Celtics receive Damian Lillard, then they're going to have to probably give up Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams, and Al Horford, and of course, some first-round picks. We've got plenty of those, so I'm not necessarily worried about that. But those 3 players, I do not like this trade one bit. I think you're giving up way too much to receive just one player. I know that player is Damian Lillard, but I just think you're going to give up your entire defensive identity. You're going to give up Al Horford, who's 37 years old. No, he doesn't produce night after night, but he's got a veteran presence on the team. But Robert Williams is so young and has yet to see his full peak because of injuries. So you want to be able to give more time to him to see where he's really going to pop off in which year. And then, of course, Malcolm Brogdon, who does make the most sense to give away this year just because he says he's not happy in Boston, or at least he's not happy about Boston talking about him in trade rumors. But he's got the most money, and it could definitely make equivalent to Damian Lillard. But once again, I'm not a fan of this at all. We don't even know if Dame would be ready to go to training camp. He said, I don't want to play for anybody but the Miami Heat. So if you put him in a Boston Celtics jersey, God knows what's going to happen. He's either going to have an injury that he can't play and he can't report, or he just truly doesn't want to show up for another organization other than the Miami Heat. What do you guys think? Am I being too harsh right now? Would you make this trade? Type A for accept, type D for decline. I want to know if you're willing to give up 3 big-time players for the Celtics and some first-round picks just to acquire Dame Lillard. Go on ahead and type in the comments. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. Guys, we are almost to 19,400 subscribers. We want to keep building and growing this channel. We're so close to the NBA season. I want you to continue to type in a scale 1 through 10. How excited are you for the NBA season? Subscribe to the channel because we're going to be bringing you so much information ahead of the Celtics year.